Welcome to Notability, specifically prepping and writing a note. The goals for this tutorial are hand motions in Notability, the utilities icon in paper selection, adding, deleting, moving, and clearing a page, basic annotation functions, and zoom view. Let's talk about how to use hand motions in Notability. In the previous video, we went over some basics, like how to create a note. This time, I have a note all ready to go. So I'm going to click on my note, and there it is. Sweet Home is the best. You know it. Professional development is fun. This is what you see when you first open the note. But what happens if I want to zoom in, like on the heart? I take two fingers, place them on the screen, and I pull apart. By pulling my fingers apart, I'm able to zoom in. If I pinch my fingers back together, I'm able to zoom out. Right now, you can see that the red pencil is highlighted. If I want to move around the screen while the red pencil is highlighted, I need to place two fingers on the screen and either pull my page over towards the right or towards the left. If I want to navigate around my screen without leaving a line, I need to touch the hand. If I touch the hand, I can basically move anywhere on the screen. I can take my stylus and scroll up, I can scroll down, I can scroll in one direction and the other. The big thing to differentiate here is whether you have the hand highlighted or the pencil highlighted. If you want to navigate around your screen to look at different areas on the screen, if you have the pencil highlighted, you have to put two fingers on the screen to zoom in or zoom out, to move to the left or to move to the right. If you only do one finger while the pencil is highlighted, you'll obviously leave a mark, which we can always undo by using the undo button. If you want to be safe, you can always highlight the hand, and again, by highlighting the hand and using your stylus or your finger, you can take two fingers to zoom out, take two fingers to zoom in, take one finger to scroll down, or move up. So let's bring this back to the regular size. The next thing that we want to look at is the utilities icon in paper selection. The utilities icon is this little wrench in the upper right hand corner. If I click on the wrench, I see under utilities I have paper, info, and help. If I click on paper, I can change the background of my paper. So right now it's highlighted white, but what if I wanted more of a cream color? Or maybe I wanted it a pink color? Or purple with dark purple polka dots, which is totally not me. I'm going to go back to white. What if I wanted lined paper? If I click over on the lines, the background still stays white, but as you can see, anything that I previously typed on the page is now underlined, which that's such a nice effect. And then I can see the smaller lines below. If I click on the utilities icon again and click on paper, I can change the width of my lines. So maybe I want them spread out a little bit farther, or even a little bit farther than that, like so. Maybe what I really want is graph paper. So I can click on the graph paper, and all of a sudden, my entire paper is obviously, well, you know, a graph. But in reality, I want my paper to be a white background with no lines. I'm going to move out of paper right now and look back at the other things that are listed under utilities. One is information, which just tells me the last time the document was modified, the creation date, and obviously it's formatted for my iPad. Finally, I can click on Help, and Help will bring up your Notability user guide, which is like gold. So you can look at different things like getting started in Notability, or taking notes, or organizing your notes. All sorts of important things. So I'm going to click Done, and navigate back towards my library. Now I'm going to bring up my basic annotation note that I've previously created. I used it like a brain dump to really start thinking about how I wanted to organize this presentation. If I wanted to see how many pages of notes I actually wrote, I can click on the Pages icon over in the right-hand corner, right next to the Utilities icon. And I can see by looking at this that I basically made 3 pages worth of notes. There's ways of organizing this note in a different order than what I've done before. So for example, at the beginning, I've listed the topics for professional development, and I've gone over some important points. And in the second slide, I've looked at my role. And then finally, at the end, I have different topics. Now, what if I wanted to include a page before topics? Maybe I had some more things to comment about my role. I could click on the plus button above topics and click on Add a Page Above. Now you can see that there is a page between my role and topics. If I decided, you know what, that's not really a good idea and I want to get rid of that page, all I have to do is click on the X button. Now that red X button will give me two options. One, to delete the page. The other one, to clear the page. Luckily, I don't have anything written on the page right now, but if I did, it would completely wipe out all of the writing that I had on the page so far. So if I had scribbled down a bunch of stuff that I really didn't think was very good, I could have just hit clear the page and everything would be gone. But in reality, I just want to delete the page. So now I'm back to my 3 original pages. Maybe though, I want my role to come before topics for professional development. What I can do is click and hold on that page and move it above, and that will help reorder the pages that I have in this note. So that's an example of how to move a page. So now I'm going to leave pages. So here I am back with my original note. And if we look at the top, there's a bunch of different ways that I can annotate my note. I can use text and type on my note, but I'll talk about that in more detail. I can use the pencil to write on my note, like that. But what if I don't want red? If I click and hold on my pencil, I notice that there's a bunch of different colors that I can use, and also a bunch of different widths of pencils that I can use, from really thick or really thin. And in order to start writing on my screen again, I have to click on the pencil one more time. Those options go away, and then I can start writing on my note again. And then if I want to remove that writing, I can always click on the undo button, and that writing will go away. Another option I have is a highlighter. Presently, my highlighter is red. I don't want red. Instead, maybe I want yellow. So now I have a yellow highlighter, but I want to check the width of my highlighter. It's a little thick, so I'm going to go a little bit smaller. Tap on the highlighter again, and then I can start highlighting different words across the page to give them more emphasis. I'm going to undo that. The next option is an eraser. An eraser will erase any writing that you've done on the screen. So if I look at something and I say, wow, I really don't like these yellow arrows, I can just basically do a line through them and they will completely or almost completely go away. So the eraser is a nice function. What if I feel like my role is slightly off center and I want to move it around? I can click on the scissors. You can use the scissors to move or cut or copy, paste, restyle handwritten information between pages or notes. Once you've selected those scissors, you can use your fingers or a stylus to circle the information you wish to move, like so. Tap and hold inside of the shape you've created and drag the content. So I can move this over or back like that. If I wanted to change the style of it, I click on Style and it will change the colors. So maybe I want more of a purple. When I want to get out of the scissors icon, I just tap on the page again. Notice with the scissors icon that you can also do a couple of other things. So if I tap and hold on this, I could cut this, I could copy it. Maybe I want my role somewhere else in my note. I could also delete it if I wanted to. So the scissors icon has a lot of different functionalities. The last thing that I want to comment on is Zoom View. So Zoom View provides a window so that you can write, if I change this over a pen, so I can write down here in a large format, but it's going to appear small on my screen. So if I was to tap down and get out of Zoom View, the writing seems much smaller on the screen than how it does in Zoom View. Some people feel that this is a much more natural way of writing than just going back on the screen and writing directly on the screen. There's 2 ways that you can get into Zoom View. You can click on the magnifying glass at the bottom to pull Zoom View up, or you can hold directly on the screen and Zoom View will automatically pop up and a box will appear exactly where you want to write. You can resize the target box of Zoom View by dragging the lower right-hand corner or 2-finger pinching on it to make the box larger or smaller. There's a number of different ways to move the target box. You either can click and drag on it to move it around, or you can tap on the screen to move it to a different location. So to review, we've gone over hand motions in Notability, like zooming in and zooming out. We've looked at the Utilities icon and talked about different types of paper. We've opened the Pages icon and talked about how to move different pages, or add a page, or delete a page, or clear a page. We've talked about basic annotation features like being able to type in a note, to draw, to highlight, to erase, to cut, or to move around. And finally, we've talked about Zoom View. Hopefully, you have a better understanding of how to annotate a note.